By far, the biggest challenge for owners of small consultancy firms is the ability to get new leads and clients consistently and to avoid the growth stifling effects of the feast-famine cycles. In this video, I'm going to share the surprising reason most consultants struggle to get leads and the proven shift that can turn your business into a client attraction machine, no matter what the economy's like or how much competition you have. Here's the truth. If you're like most consultancy firm owners, you've probably grown your business successfully to this point with clients coming mainly through referrals. And while referrals can feel comfortable, they're actually the number one reason why you hit a ceiling in your growth. In fact, without realizing it, you may be putting your business at risk by waiting for leads to come to you through referrals instead of creating a system that attracts them consistently. I know from bitter personal experience that this situation is real. I've suffered through it myself in my own consultancy firm. You need to know that even though now I've been able to start, grow, and sell 3 of my own consultancy firms, at first I went through the same frustrations of wondering where our next client was coming from and worrying about whether I'd be able to cover the team's salaries next month. But I'm grateful that I got good advice and was willing to change my approach. When I knew how to get new leads and clients consistently and predictably, everything changed for the better. So in the rest of this video, I'm going to break this down for you step by step. But if you want to jump ahead and get working on this yourself, I've created some training that you can get access to now that shows you exactly what needs to be done. I've put the links to that training in the description below this video, so be sure to check that out. And by the way, if this is resonating with you and you feel like getting leads beyond referrals is currently a mystery to you, then hit the like button so that I know that I'm hitting the mark, or comment mystery below so that I can be sure I'm reaching the right people. Okay, so let's get into it. I created this video series because I want to remove the mystery of how to grow a successful consultancy firm that gives you a life at the same time. When I started my first consultancy practice, I was very unsure about what I needed to do to grow it successfully. I was very active in the traditional avenues of networking and hoping to get referrals, but sales were so random and unpredictable, which made it impossible to grow the business. If I'd known back then what I know now, that you can build a foundation for successful growth when you have a reliable and predictable stream of new client opportunities coming to your business. And that's what I want for you. What would your life look like if you had a stream of new clients coming to your business that you could rely on month after month? You knew exactly where your leads were coming from, and you were confident that you'd be able to convert those leads into sales, and you knew exactly how to scale your business. You had complete control and confidence that you knew exactly how to grow your consultancy business. Maybe you go out more often with your life partner. Maybe take a week or so off every now and then, just when you felt like it. Or maybe you could start feeling more relaxed about not just earning a good income, but knowing that you're saving and investing for that dream life that's possible for you. Believe me, I know that life is possible for you because I'm living proof of what can be done. I'm just a normal guy. There's nothing special about me. I just decided that I didn't want to end up like most of the partners I worked with at one of the big 4 firms who worked like crazy and neglected their families and ruined relationships while they did it. Or like many of the consultants I saw working in their own firms who seemed to be like virtual slaves to their business. Instead, I figured out how to build a business that gave me the freedom to work less than 10 hours a week and generate more cash than I ever thought possible. Because of that, I'm now living a life that 10 years ago I would have hardly believed was possible. Most firms reach a point where growth just stalls. You're busy, you're delivering good work, but new leads aren't showing up at the pace you can rely on to fuel further growth. That's because the number one method most consultancy firms use to get new leads and clients is referrals. And while referrals are the primary source of new clients for most consultants, surprisingly, this is the primary bottleneck in the growth of your practice. We all want more referrals, but you don't have control over when you get referrals. Because you can't predict them, you can't rely on them. And without predictability, you don't have a firm foundation for business growth. You want to consider referrals like bonus leads. They're great when they come in, and we all want as many as we can get, but they're not predictable. That means you have no real control over your growth. And that's what causes the feast-famine cycles in your business. The reality is that when you rely on referrals, you're operating reactively in your business. And when you're operating reactively, you're always playing catch up. And when you're playing catch up, it's hard to get ahead. Here's what most firm owners don't see. When you depend on referrals, you also avoid building a strategy. And you don't create a compelling reason for clients to choose you over anyone else. You're essentially letting someone else do your marketing for you. But when you step back and ask, why should a high-value client choose us over anyone else they could work with? Well, if you don't have a clear and powerful answer to that, that's the real bottleneck. Most consultants think that the problem is not enough leads, but the real problem is being reactive instead of being strategic and proactive. I've seen many consultants try to address this problem in a number of ways, but typically they just end up frustrated because they only get a trickle of poor quality leads, or the money they throw at it just isn't worth it. Whether it's spending more time going to networking events or posting content on social media, I've seen some people even writing books without any results. The problem is that these things are all tactical, just another reactive response to the problem. I've done this myself, and I ended up thinking that marketing was just like gambling. You can't fix the problem the way that most are trying to fix it. It needs to be dealt with strategically, not reactively or tactically. The real bottlenecks are usually invisible. It could be weak positioning, meaning that you sound like every other consultant out there. It could be unclear targeting, not knowing exactly which clients are your best fit. Or it could be a lack of a proactive game plan to consistently attract the right clients. If you don't address these bottlenecks, you end up working harder than you need to just to stay where you are. You can't grow your business without an effective strategy and a proactive game plan. When you don't have a great strategy, all the things you try to do in marketing are just like gambling. And too many consultancy firms bet their future on this. The real issue here is that the challenges consultants face because of a lack of strategy is that they often attract the wrong clients. These clients treat you like the servant because they see themselves as the master in the relationship. You have to work hard to win the proposal to do their work, and then they often ask you to sharpen your pencil so that you go in with fine margins. Then there is frequent scope creep because they ask you to do more than you signed up for, but the way to charge more for this work isn't clear. Consequently, you find it difficult to satisfy them and retain them as clients. But by this time, you probably don't want to do the work with them anymore anyway. You don't enjoy working with them, and you end up regretting the decision to start working with them. All the time, you're living with anxiety and stress, which impacts your health and personal fulfillment first, but it also has that flow-on effect that impacts your team, and also your home life is at risk because you can't give your loved ones the time and attention that they need. It's critically important that you make the shift away from being reactive to being strategic and proactive. When you decide to operate strategically and you position your firm to be seen as a go-to authority for a specific type of client with a specific type of problem, lead generation actually becomes easier. Instead of chasing clients or waiting for referrals to come to you, you create a reason for your best fit prospects to want what you offer. Positioning isn't just branding. It's about creating demand for your solutions. That's the foundation that makes every lead gen effort work 10 times better. Think about the difference between being reactive and proactive. Being reactive means you wait. You wait for referrals, for luck, for someone else to bring you a client. Proactive means you have a clear strategy. You know who your best clients are, where they are, and how to reach them. Proactive firms don't wonder if leads will show up next month. They know they will because they have a repeatable system, and that system gives you freedom, confidence, and control. Here's the shift that makes all the difference. Stop thinking about lead generation as just getting more leads. Instead, think about creating demand for your expertise. When you do this right, you're not just chasing prospects. You're shaping the market's perception so that clients want to work with you. You become seen as the authority in your space. And once that happens, you'll notice something powerful. Clients start reaching out to you, not the other way around. It's about having a strategy that mirrors your ideal client's buying strategy. It's about mapping out your game plan in a series of steps that attract your ideal client and draws them to you in a way that builds relationship and trust. Now that you understand the problem, you want to know the fastest way to fix it. So in the next video, I'll show you the fastest way to get leads for your consultancy practice, even if you're not well known. It's all about how to create your strategy and your game plan to get clients on command. It will help you eliminate the feast-famine sales cycles forever. Click here on the link or the one that's in the description below to watch it now.